Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Let's do it. Okay, so Pacers versus Thunder. Let's start with the Pacers side. What do you think the Pacers need to do to win this series?
Um, Pray. No, I don't know. You're gonna just have to probably just keep doing what you're doing. You're probably not gonna be able to like fast break the Thunder off the court because the Thunder are versatile and they're deep. So you're basically just gonna have to hope that everyone shows up. No more like Nemhard has one good game and then doesn't really like do much for a few more games. No, or I mean, I was referring to Naismith, but it can apply to both. Nemhard doesn't appear for 4 games. Like you need to have all guys on at all cylinders at all times to win this series because the Thunder are a juggernaut.
Yeah, so a couple things I just want to hit on before I get into what I think they need to do. But first of all, this is like the first series. I don't think they have like a depth advantage. I think they both are kind of equal
Yeah.
there. I did think the Cavs had just as much depth though until the series kind of unfolded, and then there
Yeah.
was injuries and stuff like that. So they don't have necessarily a depth advantage. I think that we will see Neesmith guard Shea, and he has to not get into foul trouble.
Mhm.
And I know that's a tough ask,
Yeah.
but that's really, I think having to cover Brunson at least will kind of give you a little bit of a warm up to what Shea's capable of. So that's nice.
Mhm.
Um, and then Siakam still has to be the player he's been defensively and offensively, and if the Pacers have any chance of winning this.
Yeah.
But I did say I think the key is pushing the ball. And I think that even though I don't think they'll get away with it as much, I still think I thought the Cavs would figure out the fast break stuff. I thought the Cavs, I think they had the third or the second ranked defense in the league. I said, oh,
Mhm.
they won't let the, you
Also,
know,
Coach of the Year.
yeah, well, that should have been JB, but
Yeah.
whatever. But anyway, you're right. They got the coach there. But anyway, I thought the Cavs would slow the Pacers down. They had a better defense. I thought they'd get back and that they would have a better, especially half court defense.
Yeah.
They kind of passed that with flying colors. So I don't think it will happen as often. I think they'll have a little bit more of a struggle, but they got to continue to push the ball because I think they still will find ways to get some easy
Mhm.
baskets by pushing the ball and maybe getting some fast breaks after made baskets because I think teams are just not used to it. So eventually, even though they're alert right away, I think eventually
Mhm.
they just have mental lapses. So I think that's the
Yeah.
key. Keep pushing the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. Do you just real quick? You got a key player for the Pacers?
I'm gonna say Benedict Mathurin.
I like that
Um,
one.
he sort of has. I'd have to look at like their regular season minutes, but he's sort of now it was only 7 minutes more, but Ben Shepherd played a little more than him in the last series, and Mathurin. I forget if he was a lottery pick or he was right outside the lottery pick, but in any case, he's just very very inconsistent. There was one game he went off. He had like 22 or 23, but it's just very up and down for him. And even Obi Toppin too is very up and down. And I think Mathurin is more of a versatile player in what he can do. Toppin is a nice 3 point shot, but he's primarily an athletic guy and like a
Yeah.
fast break guy. If you could have Mathurin play like smart defense and hit open shots like on the Halliburton kickouts. And I mean, Mathurin is not necessarily a catch and shoot guy. I think he's a little more of a creator sort of a player, but just like having him as bench depth, and if he is able to be more consistent and play a little better than he has, that would be really big for them.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he was the seventh pick overall.
Mhm. Yeah.
That was the year the Pistons drafted Jaden Ivey, and if
Hmm.
they didn't get him, I thought they would go after Mathurin.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So yeah, okay. Let's look at the Thunder side of this. What do you think the Thunder need to do to win this series?
I think it's going to be, yeah, trying to beat up Halliburton, the Caruso like mugging defense. I think
Dort.
it's going to be Dort. Because it all well, like you said, Siakam is a big part of it, but it all flows through Halliburton. So they're going to
Mhm.
be throwing a lot of guys at Halliburton and trying to slow him down. I mean, it's hard to make him create turnovers, but that's what the Thunder do well.
Yeah, they're so long. That's the problem. Like, I agree. I think that's a big part of it. I think Dort on Halliburton will be an interesting matchup to watch, and then Caruso will probably come in, and then you'll have Kason Wallace come in, and they're gonna just try to wear him out. Uh, Jalen Williams, I think, just keeping up what he's been doing the last series and a half. That's big for the Thunder to have that second creator, and just defense on made baskets. I think the Pacers get a lot of points. I shouldn't say a lot, but they do get too many points off of that. Like teams allow that to happen too much, so they just got to get back on defense. I think that would help them to win if they can limit those buckets off of made baskets.
I also do think. I mean, I think Dagnall is a fine coach, but I do think the Pacers also have the coaching advantage in this series.
Good.
I think
Okay.
Carlisle's been more steady with his play making and decisions or what have you. That Dagnall's had a couple shaky moments, but it also his first time getting this far. And Carlisle's been around for a long time, so I don't think that's like anything crazy to say. But I'd give an edge to Carlisle to figure more things out.
Yeah, I thought what was interesting too is like the Pacer team, it kind of mimics a little bit what the Carlisle won in Dallas, where you have one star and just a good fit around him, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what you have here. Um, but going back to Thunder, I think what would be is interesting though is I think the Thunders have a clear height advantage because they can play Harkenstein with Chet, and I was just thinking about that when I was thinking about the series and like, so you have Turner, who doesn't really play big all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
then Siakam, but Siakam isn't like big. So
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of like I'm wondering how much offense or rebounding will play in this series
Mm-hmm.
for the Thunder in a positive way. If they
Mm-hmm.
can stick to, like have that two big lineup out there, I think it could be a huge advantage. And I wonder how Carlisle will counter that if they do, and
Mm-hmm.
do they have a counter? That'll be
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
I sort of see Chet the same way as Turner in that he now I know he's not a big body, but he
Right.
kind of tends to drift toward the 3 point line more than I
Hmm.
like. Now he's a decent 3 point shooter. He's better than decent. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes I just be like, man, you're well over 7 feet. Just get down in the paint, you
Just
know.
do your thing, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so like that as far as like Turner versus him, they both are kind of the same way where they're shot blockers. They'll go out and knock down threes, but yeah, they don't like exclusively play in the paint.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, so if Harkenstein's in the game,
Mhm.
Turner probably guards him, huh? Um, if he's
That
out
makes
there.
sense. Yeah,
And then Chet gets guarded by probably Siakam,
yeah,
if that's the way. So Siakam, I guess that might not be as big as a disadvantage as I thought it might be because if Chet stays out by the three, Siakam will be fine.
yeah.
If they start collapsing, it could be a challenge.
Hmm.
Do you have a key player for the Thunder?
Um, how about okay? I guess I did not realize to looking at the stats, Kason Wallace actually played the fifth most minutes,
Yeah, he
and
gets
maybe that's just because there were blowouts, and so he was playing more. But he also shot 36% for the series. So let's say Case and Wallace. Let's get those numbers up.
yeah, there you go. I like that one. And I think he's going to play an important role of covering. He's like
Yeah,
almost really shifty as a defender. He's like the quickest, it seems like, out of those defenders. So he
yeah,
might have the Halliburton, maybe third option or
yeah,
whatever for Halliburton. So that'll be interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one. Okay, you ready to predict this series?
Yep.
Okay, what do you got?
I want to give my initial reaction is the Thunder in five, which it sounds like that's the pretty common one.
Yeah.
I want to give the Pacers a little more respect because they have been like so opportunistic, and they've come back in so many games, and they're so persistent. So my head says Thunder in 5, but my heart's gonna say Pacers in 6. So we'll
You're
go
good.
with that.
Pacers in 6?
I mean, I'm sorry. No. Sorry. Thunder in 6.
Okay, I was
My
like,
bad.
whoa.
I botched that up terribly. My head says Thunder in 5. My heart says Thunder in 6.
Okay, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. I'll just add to what you were saying though. Is like I think throughout these playoffs, I have underestimated the Pacers
Yeah.
a lot, except in the last round. I actually nailed it,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I keep underestimating. I think there's a
Mm.
little bit to that. It kind of reminds me of the narrative with not as I mean, it's kind of a different scenario, but like if you think about the Mavs against the Heat or the Pistons against the Lakers, where we're all like, oh, yeah, this team. It's like, well, yeah, but the other team did make the finals and they have their awesome qualities. The
Yeah.
Thunder are, they're a beast, but I think. I want to show respect to the Pacers. I do think the Thunder are going to win the series, okay? But I'm going to go 7. And
Okay.
that's what I'm rooting for because I
Mm.
want a long series. I think it could be fun. And I
Yeah.
think the officials will hopefully stay out of the way for the most
Yeah.
part. Shea's a great enough player. He'll adapt to whatever the
Yeah.
officials are giving him or not giving him. So I think it'll be fine. But I just think this is going to be a fun series, like 130 to 130 type of games,
Mhm.
because it's going to be fast paced. And I think there will be times when the Thunder defense shows up, and that will be probably the times they win, and then they'll end up outlasting the Pacers. But I'm going to go 7 because that's what I'm
Okay.
rooting for.
Yeah. Yeah. You should have seen how big your eyes got when I said Pacers in
Well, I'm like,
5.
oh, I thought I was going out on a limb. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Well,
you know.
yeah, I misspoke.
Well, yeah. It's to be fair, it's about 10:45 at night, so we'll give you a pass. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anything else?
Uh,
Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.